ISO 9001-2015 implementation. Mandatory documents and records, clause-wise, URGS methodology. Hello everyone. Welcome to URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. In this technical session, we will explain the ISO 9001-2015 mandatory documented information clause by clause based on the URGS practical implementation methodology. This video forms part of our ISO 9001-2015 3 days online implementation training program and is designed for ISO implementers, quality managers, consultants, internal auditors. Our focus is what is truly mandatory, what certification auditors expect, and how to implement ISO 9001 without unnecessary documentation. URGS concept, documented information. ISO 9001-2015 uses the term documented information, which replaces the old concepts of procedures and records. Under the URGS methodology, documents explain how the process is controlled. Records provide evidence that the process was controlled. Auditors do not look for document titles, they look for objective evidence of conformity. Now, let us move clause by clause. Clause 4. Context of the organization. Clause 4.3. Scope of the QMS. Mandatory documented information. The QMS scope is a mandatory documented information. It must clearly define products and services covered, organizational boundaries, justification for any exclusions only from clause 8. As per URGS implementation rules, scope must reflect actual operations. Scope must be consistent with contracts, processes, and audit evidence. Generic scope statements often result in audit non-conformities. URGS recommends a process-linked organization-specific scope. Clause 5. Leadership. Clause 5.2. Quality policy. Mandatory documented information. The quality policy is mandatory. It must support the organization's strategic direction, provide a framework for quality objectives, include commitment to customer satisfaction and continual improvement. Under the URGS methodology, policy must be communicated. Employees must demonstrate awareness and understanding. Auditors often verify policy effectiveness through employee interviews, not wall displays. Clause 6. Planning. Clause 6.2. Quality objectives. Mandatory documented information. Quality objectives are mandatory and must be measurable, monitored, relevant to product and service conformity. URGS best practice requires objectives at relevant levels and functions, evidence of monitoring and action. Improved quality is not acceptable. Reduce rejection rate by 15% in 12 months is acceptable. Clause 7 support. Clause 7.1.5.1 Calibration records. Mandatory record where applicable. If measuring equipment affect conformity, calibration records are mandatory. Records must show equipment identification, calibration status, traceability. URGS guidance. Only quality critical equipment requires calibration. Over calibration leads to unnecessary workload. Clause 7.2 Competence records. Mandatory record. Organizations must retain records of education, training, skills, experience. URGS emphasizes training attendance alone is insufficient. Competence evaluation evidence is essential. Clause 8 Operation High audit risk. Clause 8.2.3.2 Review of requirements. Mandatory record. Records must confirm customer requirements were reviewed, changes were evaluated before acceptance. Examples include contract review forms, purchase order approvals, ERP or CRM records. Clause 8.3 Design and development. Mandatory records if applicable. Applicable only if the organization performs design. Mandatory records include design inputs, design outputs, reviews, verification and validation, design changes. URGS audit rule. Design cannot be excluded without justification. Exclusions must be clearly stated in QMS scope. Clause 8.5.1 Production characteristics. Mandatory record. Documented information must define product or service characteristics, acceptance criteria. Examples: drawings, specifications, work instructions. Clause 8.6 Release of products and services. Mandatory record. Evidence of conformity before release is mandatory. Records must include acceptance results, authorization for release. Examples: inspection reports, test certificates. Final approval records. Clause 8.7.2 Control of non-conforming outputs. Mandatory record. Record must describe nature of non-conformity, actions taken, disposition decisions. URGS audit experience shows missing NCR records often lead to major non-conformities. Clause 9 Performance evaluation. Clause 9.1.1 Monitoring and measurement results. Mandatory record. Organizations must retain results related to process performance, product conformity, customer satisfaction. URGS recommends trend analysis, action-oriented monitoring. Clause 9.2 Internal audit. Mandatory document and records. Mandatory internal audit program. Audit results. URGS internal audit model is risk-based, process-based, clause-wise coverage within audit cycle. Clause 9.3 Management review. Mandatory record. Management review minutes must include inputs, outputs, decisions and actions. Auditors verify top management involvement, not delegation. Clause 10 Improvement. Clause 10.2 Corrective action. Mandatory record. Corrective action records must show root cause analysis, action taken, effectiveness verification. URGS principle. Correction is not corrective action. Root cause elimination is mandatory. URGS implementation philosophy. To summarize the URGS ISO 9001 methodology: minimal but effective documentation, evidence-based implementation, process alignment with business objectives, audit readiness at all times. ISO 9001 is not about files, it is about controlled processes. Closing and course invitation. This technical explanation is a part of our ISO 9001 2015 3 days online implementation training program by URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. For training and consultancy support, email us info@urgsiso.com, mobile +91 7359458455. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe for more professional ISO implementation content. Thank you.